AITA for telling my family they have no right to be upset that I ignore my culture because they alienated me. I 33 divided by female am half Native American and Irish. I am literally half of each. My paternal grandparents were Irish immigrants. My mother is reservation born with family still on the reservation that she is close to. I am almost a clone of my late paternal grandmother. It's shocking how similar we look. The only difference is that my hair is dark brown while hers was a blonde. I grew up kind of the black sheep of the family. They didn't like my dad and it felt like they kind of took it out on me. My material grandmother made it a tradition to gift each girl in the family a set of hand-beaded moccasins for their 16th birthday. I was excluded until my mom brought it up and my grandmother gave me a pair 6 months later. My aunt taught all of the other girls how to dance. I was excluded. The only thing I wasn't excluded on was learning how to drum. My paternal grandmother lived with us, and she knew they treated me differently. She made it a point to teach me the folklore, her recipes, and all about our family. My sense of taste and decor is also very Irish. I moved far away from everyone after college and I really haven't looked back. One of the only family members I am still close was attending a work thing for a few weeks last year. I brought up that they could stay at my place since I was closer than the hotel to where they were going than the hotel his work offered to put him up in, and it was on my way to work with an almost identical schedule. They took me up on it. When my cousin arrived, he were absolutely shocked that my house looked so Irish, and that there was no trace of my native heritage. He accused me of assimilating into white culture. I pointed out everything he already knew, that I was purposely left out of traditions and family events because I either look white or they hated my dad, so why would I identify with a culture that rejected me first? He told me that I should have tried harder to embrace my culture and show them that I wanted to be part of their traditions instead of just flat out dropping them altogether. I told them that I shouldn't have had to try to be included by my family as his child. I should have just been accepted as family. In the end, we agreed to disagree, until I noticed that he took my drum. I had it in the guest room closet because I had no room for it in my bedroom closet, and didn't want it to get damaged by my asshole cats. I ended up calling him demanding the drum back and he refused. My drum was returned to me after my uncle who gifted it to me took it back and mailed it back. It ended up escalating, so now my whole family is involved in calling me Ta. It's actually literal pictures of Ireland that I took with my professional cameras from my vacations there with my paternal grandmother. I'm not talking small prints, I am talking very large professional prints of the landscapes. I took so many pictures because I loved it so much that there are literally pictures of the landscapes, both rural and urban, in every room. In my den and my bar, it has a lot of Guinness things. My husband even got me a Guinness tap. I also have a lot of my grandmother's hand-embroidered things that are Celtic embroidery, or are very reminiscent of such. She made money selling things like it here and did them herself. Story 2. AITA for threatening to kick my brother out for trying to undo my service dog's training, and telling me I don't need one. Throwaway account because my brother knows my actual account. My brother Jack, 25, recently lost his job. Our parents do not have any space for him at their home, so he moved in with me, 23, male BTW. I have a service dog, Ripley. He is a 6-year-old Saint Bernard and an absolute gentle giant. I suffer from some pretty severe agoraphobia and anxiety, prone to panic attacks when I leave the house. Ripley is a godsend and has been helping me get my life back together. Jack doesn't really like that I have a service dog though. He doesn't believe that mental health issues are a big deal and that I just need to get over it. Which, let's be real, is a lot easier said than done. We've never been particularly close and he has often accused me of being an attention seeker. Due to the fact that Ripley is a service dog, it is very important that I keep on top of his training, and I have a strict routine that both Ripley and I follow. However, around 3 or 4 weeks ago I woke up to Ripley growling. Upon further inspection, I saw Jack holding a lead and trying to pull Ripley out of my bedroom. I intervened and Ripley ran to my side. Jack told me he just wanted to save me the trouble of walking Ripley and had taken it upon himself to do it instead. I explained to him that this is not appropriate and that I am the one who walks Ripley. He seemed to accept this at first, but over the past couple of weeks he's been going out of his way to go against my wishes. He tries to feed Ripley at different times, tries to give him food off his plate, will try to pet him when we're out in public when Ripley has to be focused, etc. Literally anything to undo his training, which he admitted kinda smugly one night when he'd had a drink. Eventually I snapped at him and told him give it a rest. He fired back that Ripley must be absolutely miserable as he has no time to be a normal dog. This is, of course, completely untrue. He then called me an attention seeker and said I'm not physically disabled, so I do not need a service dog, and that the only reason I had Ripley was to get attention from strangers. I threatened to kick him out and Jack went silent and left the room. Later, I got several angry texts from family members for threatening to leave my own brother homeless. I do regret it as I think I went a bit too far. Jack is absolutely terrified of having nowhere to go and the threat might have been a bit cruel. But at the same time, Ripley isn't just a dog, he helps me. He calms me down from panic attacks, helps, gives me reason to leave the house and just generally makes my life easier. Undoing his training would completely destroy that. AITA. First, thank you for all the support you guys. The kind comments really mean a lot and I've been trying to read each and every one of them. I've seen a couple questions in the comments so I figured I'd just answer them here. Ripley is a service dog, not an emotional support animal. He helps ground me during panic attacks, helps me remember to take my medication, and brings my medication to me. I can't say the other thing he does because of the rules, but when I'm in a dark place and try to do something I probably shouldn't, he is trained to interrupt me and prevent me from doing it. My family know exactly what Jack is like. They all conveniently had no space at their houses to take him in as they don't want to deal with him. They also do know how bad my anxiety is and agree that Ripley is the best thing for helping me deal with it. If think any differently then they haven't let on. And thank you to the people who mentioned that having Jack here is making Ripley uncomfortable. I feel like a horrible person for letting him stay so long and making Ripley deal with that. He's a good boy and shouldn't have to be uncomfortable in his own home. I have texted several of my family members, including my parents, with my side of the story. Turns out Jack has twisted it a little bit. I told them that they're welcome to take him in, but I cannot keep him in my home anymore as he is putting myself and Ripley at risk. Some family members are on my side now, but there are still a fair few who think I'm in awe. And guess what? My parents are somehow managing to clear out their storage room to make space for Jack. Isn't that weird? Anyway, thank you again, kind people of Reddit. Story 3. AITA for not letting my ex's mother take my girls for Thanksgiving. Today my ex's mother contacted me asking about taking my girls for Thanksgiving. I was shocked. She hasn't talked to me in months, even on their birthday. I won't be able to provide Thanksgiving without help, so I told her let's work something out. I will host Thanksgiving and do all the cooking and cleaning if she could provide the food. Nothing like a huge feast, but my girls are at the age where holidays are exciting. I told her she could take them to the little park for someone on one time. She told me no, she wanted them to go see her side of the family. Again, this is totally out of the blue and I am not comfortable with them going. I might be too paranoid, but a few months ago my ex took them for a visitation, but ended up leaving the state with them and blocking all communication. It was almost a week and I had to give descriptions of my girls to the police for the Amber Alert. And I never want to go through that again. I mention this only so it doesn't seem like I'm just saying no. There is no custody agreement and I have a restraining order out against him. She claims he won't be there, but I'm calling bullshit. While I want my girls to have turkey dinner, I'm not sure if I'm willing to risk it, and she made it clear I could not come along even just sitting in my car across the street like I suggested. Am I being irrational and an asshole? Edit. The only reason I'm second guessing is because I know how important family is, plus the harassing guilt trips I'm getting. Edit 2. I'm blown away by the response to this post. Thank you to each and every one of you. Trying to respond to comments.